Hey guys, I'm here to review another gun. This gun is a 30-06 Thompson Center. Now this gun is not my gun, it's my cousin's gun, and he lent me it today to review it because I didn't believe him. He does not like this gun. He does not like this gun at all, actually. He says he has accuracy issues with it. You cannot get it to shoot accurate at all, no matter what type of brand of bullets he is using. So he lent me it and some rounds that he had left with it, and I'm gonna test out what is wrong with the gun or see if I can fix it. A little backstory on this gun. They shot a lot of rounds through it, different brands of bullets, and like I said, they couldn't get the shoot very accurate at all. And when I say accurate, I mean like hitting a paper plate at 100 yards. That's not good. And they even made a sled for it. They put it on a lead sled and they shot it, and they still couldn't make it shoot accurate. So then he bought a new trigger for it. He put a new trigger that was supposed to be lighter, and he put it in, and he still could not get it to shoot very accurate. When I mean accurate, like I said, paper plate at 100 yards. So then he sent it back to Thompson Center, and they complained about it, and they wanted them to see what was wrong with it. And all they got for a response was a picture of a group of bullet shots. Who knows how far? They didn't say how far. They said MOA, and these groups of bullets were really tight together. And like I said, they didn't say what they were shooting for bullets, and they didn't say how far they were shooting it. And this was Thompson Center. Like I said, they shot this gun apparently, and they sent it back, and they shot it again at home, and it did not shoot the groups they were showing from Thompson Center. And they were very upset about this, and they kind of just left the gun. They didn't know what to do with it. They tried everything they could do. Now this gun has a Leopold on it, and this Leopold, you know, a pretty casual 3x9x40. Now these rings on it are not the rings he had on the gun originally. These are my rings. Now they're just mediums, medium or highs actually. I don't know which ones they are, but they're better than the rings they had on it. Now to be honest, these rings they had before on this Leopold, I did not like at all. They were kind of cheap. So what I did before I made this video was I took the Leopold off and I put it on my 204 Ruger. I shot it with the Leopold on there, and it shot good groups. It shot the same as any other scope would. So I factored the scope out, and I use these rings also. So these rings in the scope are fine. I don't know if they're the other rings. I don't think they are. I think it's the gun, honestly. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shoot this gun with this good scope and good rings, and I'm going to shoot it with the ammunition he gave me, and I'm see if I can make any groups out of it. Now the gun is cleaned again. I cleaned the gun, so it's going to be a clean shot. They cleaned the gun and they shot it a lot of times, so it's not like they were shooting it all dirty or clean a bunch of times. They were doing everything they could, and I just wanted to make sure it was clean, so that's what I did do it. And I'm shooting at 100 yards. I've got a good bench and a steady rest, and I'm gonna shoot a piece of paper, I think 11x8 piece of paper, and see if I can get any groups out of it at all. And I will come back to you guys in a minute. So yeah, the trigger on it is pretty heavy, and as I said earlier, they did put an aftermarket trigger on it, and it was lighter. And they apparently could not make it shoot any more accurate. But before they sent it into Thompson Center, they took it out and switched it back to the original trigger on it. And it's very heavy. I would say, just from judgment, it's like 6 pounds. It's a hard pull. It doesn't seem like there's any creep in it. It's just a hard pulling trigger, and that could make the accuracy worse. So if there was a lighter trigger on it, I would say you could get better groups out of it. I mean, a good, clean, smooth, light trigger definitely can make a gun shoot more accurate. So that's also your judgment on how good the groups are, or my judgment also. I bet I could make the group smaller with a better trigger. So for tonight, I'm done shooting. It's very calm out, and these shot pretty good. And tomorrow or whenever it's calm out, I will shoot again with the a few other brands of ammunition. Not a ton of bullets, but I will shoot some other brands. A few shots probably of each, and see if they make a decent group. So far, this gun, like I said before, I'm impressed with it for a budget rifle. First time I've ever shot a Thompson Center. First time I've ever shot this gun, and that's what I got out of it in 5 shots. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in a few. So this is my final review of the TC Compass that I've gotten so far from my cousin. If you've seen the shots I've been making throughout the video at the targets, I've only had 3 different brands of rounds through it, but that was just only given to me, and I only had shot what was available because I didn't really want to spend money on the more bullets. So that's what I gave for the review. So just take this review as what I've used for rounds and the amount of rounds I've shot. Not very many really, but anyway, the TC Compass, not as bad as I thought it was, to be honest. Overall, not as bad as I thought, but not as good as the American Ruger still. Let's start with the bad about it. The first thing, as I said earlier, this safety is horrendous. It's very hard. It's loud, and it's in a terrible spot, in my opinion. And when it's cold out, I can't imagine, especially if you're cold, I couldn't imagine trying to use this safety. The bolt, I did not like the bolt at all, and the bolt handle is just ugly, and I just don't like it. I just do not like this bolt and bolt handle. But it's a budget rifle, right? The trigger on it, it's a heavy trigger, it's a hard trigger, but the good thing about the trigger is that it doesn't have a lot of creep like some rifles. It doesn't have a lot of creep, so I like that part, but it's heavy. You can get an aftermarket trigger for it, and it would be lighter though. The gun shoots pretty good overall, I think, for a budget rifle. The Hornady Whitetail, they shot the best, and I was surprised. The Winchesters, I only had 2 shots through it, and they shot decent. That's only 2 shots though. You can make your own judgment. And then the last ones, the Barnes, they shot like crap. So that's what, that's all I have got for it, on paper at least. That's only at 100 yards though, and that is with me trying to be a good shot. Now, this mag is crap. It's cheap design, it's all plastic. I do not like that, it's all plastic, and the spring is terrible on it. So what happened to me when I was shooting it was I wasn't thinking I was putting some rounds in the magazine. Now usually, you can just throw the round right on top and push it in. You can do that, but you're risking missing the whole entire plastic in the spring, and it might get stuck in the magazine. That happened to me. That's very annoying. I had to pry the round out. So what you have to do is you have to put the round in this divot and load it like that. You have to load it with the divot and push it in, and then you won't miss the spring. But if you're just being fast and not thinking about it, you can just throw it in, and you might miss the spring, and your round can get stuck, and you can move it around. That is very annoying. That's another bad flaw about this gun and this magazine. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have that problem. You should be able to throw that round in anyway, either from this way or from top. I do not like that. Now this is just a reload that I use for my American Ruger, but anyway, the threaded barrel. So this threaded barrel, nothing wrong with it. Now I think it's kind of funny that they have a threaded barrel on a budget rifle. Think about it. If you can afford a suppressor, you're not going to be putting it on a TC Compass. Let's be honest, right? So if you can afford a suppressor, you probably have a gun for it already, just, picked out for it. You're not going to spend over $1,000 on a nice suppressor and put it on this thing, especially for hunting. This gun is made for a budget-friendly. It just doesn't make sense. Why would they put the money? Maybe it's not barely any extra money. Maybe it's not extra at all, and that's why they did it. But it doesn't make sense to do that. I don't get it. I'm not gonna go out hunting. Fine, it might shoot the same. I don't know. But it's just kind of funny that they did that. If they wanted to make a budget-friendly rifle, I wouldn't put a threaded barrel at the end at all, because guess what? I wouldn't be able to afford a freaking suppressor in the first place. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. One of the other good things about it is that the stock, in my opinion, is pretty solid. It's pretty steady. It doesn't move around a lot. My American Ruger actually, up here, the front part of the stock moves more than this gun. So I like this, that's what I liked about this gun better. And overall, you know, it doesn't look bad. It's not a bad looking rifle, minus these stupid rings. But, so yeah, overall it surprised me, but it's still not the best out there for the money. At least I think you spend a little bit more money, you get the American Ruger, and that's better in my opinion. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about this gun. If you have any questions in the comments, I can answer them. And also, like I mentioned, reloading. I do a little bit of reloading. I could make some videos in the future about reloading if you guys want. And oh yeah, and I shot 380 yards. That's the other clip there, the big barrel there. That was only 2 shots. The only 2 shots I left, and I just took them. I just calculated the drop. But so I guess you can kill a deer at 380 if you want to. If you just practice a little bit, but I wouldn't with this gun. I'd use a different gun. But yeah, that's about all I've got. Thank you for watching.